important point to discuss his political strategy and running within the Democratic Party or like Cornel West as an independent. I think we should talk about that. I applaud Cornel. I've met him. I have great respect for him and his ideas, as I do for Bobby Kennedy, obviously, Jr. And I think they've obviously shown different strategies, running for president. I believe, yes, the Democratic Party, the DNC, tends to rig it. They hated Bernie Sanders. They hated Jesse Jackson. They hated Bobby's father when he ran in 68. They wanted Hubert Humphrey to win. They were stacked against him. But I still think in our system, as fucked up as it is, that actually you have more potential running as a Democrat than as an independent. I think the hopes for an independent are largely symbolic. I think Cornel West is largely running a symbolic campaign. And his poll numbers, which are very low, as you know, at this point, reflect that. Bobby Kennedy has 20 points or higher. So he has some ability to actually make some headway in the Democratic Party. He's already being told that we're already hearing that he could win the primary in New Hampshire. That would be, I think, quite amazing. It'd really throw a scare.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
He would throw a scare into Biden. He's already thrown a scare into him, despite, as Aaron said, the daily media, corporate media assault on him. So I think Bobby poses a threat within the Democratic system. I agree with you, Nick, that the system is rigged, but it's the best we can do at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to say there, but I'll move on.
Can I add something relevant here really quickly? I totally agree about the Democratic Party being completely corrupt. When I interviewed RFK Jr., he said, "Think about the Democratic Party is it's the same throughout. And what I mean is it's corrupt top to bottom." So even he thinks that. And what I think is changing here is that what is changing the equation is not so much that the duopoly as it is purely by itself the reason why we can't do anything politically. The bigger overriding structural issue is the U.S. empire. Like, that is what gives this oligarchy so much wealth and power to control both parties, and that actually is changing. So it's possible that he may leave the Democrats after it's become clear that they're not going to give him a fair shake, and then that will be very interesting. I think above all, the priority is that West and RFK have to be in communication with each other and find some way to join forces to make sure that we don't get another imperialist who's imperiling human life on the planet.
Yeah, you guys make some very interesting points. The only thing I will argue, as someone who believes that we need a third party movement right now, because Democrats are so unhinged, we see RFK around 20% in the polls, and that's in the Democratic primary, despite the fact that it's undeniable that he has a lot of Republicans and independents who like him. So imagine the narrative if he ran as a third party and he's polling at, even if it's lower, if he's polling at 10, maybe 5 to 10%, dude, that would be huge for third party movement. But we can move on because I don't want to drill you.
No, I'm on the same page with you. I'm on the same page with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the strategy. It's just a giant missed opportunity because you guys see the energy that Dr. Cornel West is able to give for third parties, and RFK probably will have more support to him. But anyway, Dave, I'll give you the last word on this, and we can move on.
Well, I agree with you, both of you. I think the political system is undergoing a massive change right now because it's not working anymore, and it's patently unfair and it's ineffective. And more people are fleeing from the system and declaring themselves independents or whatever. And so I agree that the system is undergoing a historic transformation right now. But I believe still that Bobby Kennedy Jr. chose the right path running within the Democratic Party for now. We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah. You know, it will be great because there's an answer from RFK that I was really glad to hear. Because I'm like, man, if you run a Democrat, like you sign a contract, you're endorsing Joe Biden at the end. Geez, that seems like a waste of time. But RFK did recently say that he's not pledging his support for Joe Biden. And if he does join with Dr. Cornel West after this primary is rigged, like it will be, I will praise him a lot for that. That would be a very positive move for him to make. But if he lied and he endorsed Joe Biden, trust me, I will drag him across the code for that. But I don't think that's the case. I'm glad that he said they not willing to endorse Joe Biden. I really hope they can have some sort of unity, and I really hope that Dr. Cornel West can help influence his Palestine takes as well. But we got a lot of great things.
Hey,
Dave,
Nick, I'll just add quickly. I think Bobby has spoken in favor, said that a number of his family members work for the Biden administration and so on. But I do think even last week he was appalled that President Biden appointed Elliot Abrams, a war criminal dating back to the Reagan era, to a diplomacy panel. I mean, that's outrageous. And also his decision to send cluster weapons and bombs to Ukraine was, I think, crossing a river that Bobby thought was outrageous. So those two decisions show Biden for what he really is. He's a tool of the national security state, as Aaron was saying.